my name is Madeline Martin, and welcome to Bug Out. This presentation will be roughly 10 minutes long, and if at any point in the presentation you need to leave, the exits are located over there. So you may have some general idea of the subject matter of my presentation from the name. To those of you who came because you're enthusiastic about insects, welcome. To those of you who were dragged here by the members of your party enthusiastic about insects, welcome to you as well. Thank you for coming. So just to get us all on the same page about insects, who can name one?
Stick bug.
Stick bug's got a good bug in the name. There we go. Who else?
The noisy cicada.
Cicada? Yep. Oh gosh, summer. So many.
Bees.
Bees, good. Where would we be without bees? What you got?
The mosquito.
Mosquitoes. Oof, not fun. What about you?
Cute little ladybugs.
Cute little ladybugs. Everybody love those? Alright, so now that we've got our good list, we got a list about 5 bugs, which is only a very small percentage of the over 900,000 named species of insects in the world. Anyway. So there's got to be 900,000 different species, so they got to do something. Who can give me a list of Who can give me an example of an effect bugs have on humans or how they make you feel?
The creepy crawly, I don't like them.
Creepy crawly, got too many legs. It's estimated that 1 in every 4 people has entomophobia, or a fear of bugs. It's a very prominent part of our culture. We've had a lot of horror movies based off of them creepy crawly bugs. What about us?
They kill the trees.
They do. There are some that are pests in our lumber industries and timber. They can be not very good for trees.
The mosquitoes will bite you and cause diseases.
Yep, malaria was a very big thing, but they do not cause disease. Insects like mosquitoes and chiggers and ticks don't cause those diseases that make us fear them. They only spread them around. They are still dangerous, but they're not the cause in and of themselves.
Think bees can sting people?
Bees can sting people, and allergies for bees is very common. Does anybody have or know somebody who has an allergy to bees? Yep, it's estimated that 16 million people in the United States have a very serious allergy to bees. It can cause anaphylaxis and will kill people if it's not treated.
Don't they also pollinate other trees?
Pollination. We got a good example of a positive effect that insects have on people. Which, going through this list, having these things, most of the examples that we've listed have been very negative. Insects have positive effects on the environment as well. So let's get into examples. First on our list of crawlies that I've brought for you today is these guys. Can anybody tell me what these are? What do you think, huh?
They look like praying mantises.
Praying mantis, yes.
But
Praying mantises.
They're really tiny though.
They look like fruit flies.
So there are 2 insects in this box. There's praying mantises and there's fruit flies, which are their food. So specifically, how do people feel about the praying mantises?
I saw them in that Kung Fu movie.
In the Kung
The
Fu
panda.
movie. The Kung Fu Panda, that's right. He was one of the Kung Fu masters. He's very cool.
Wasn't he in A Bug's Life?
Oh yeah, he was
The bad guy?
there was a bug guy. Yeah.
That was Grasshopper.
Not the bad guy, but okay, never mind.
Anyway, the point is that they have also been in movies, but the things that we've listed here, A Bug's Life or Kung Fu Panda, very positive movies. And look at them. They're cool with their sword arms and everything. So generally, the public has a very positive view of praying mantises. There are numerous sites on the internet that you can go and you can buy praying mantises to put in your garden, and they'll eat the pests that'll eat your fruit, they'll eat the leaves off your flowers, they'll eat all sorts of things, but you can put praying mantises on purpose in your garden and they'll help you control pests. Now that was a positive insect. This one may not receive such a good reaction. These guys, I'm sure as people are familiar with, are cockroaches. Yeah?
Nasty.
Nasty.
Yuck.
These are the embodiment of that creepy crawly list
Nightmare.
that we got earlier. However, these guys are also very good for the environment. Cockroaches are an important source of food for many small mammals such as mice, rats, and bats, and birds. Birds aren't mammals, but... And while people may not have a very positive opinion of mice and rats either, they in turn are an important food source for other animals. Disturbing the bottom of a food chain would disrupt the entire thing. And, although you may not think it from looking at them, these guys also pollinate. Scurrying around on the ground all the time, they interact with many flowers, and they are also a good source of pollination. They also are very vital to the nitrogen cycle. When trees and plants take nutrients up from the soil and put it into their leaves, that nitrogen is then incorporated into the cells of the plant and can't be used by anything else. When the leaves die and fall off the tree, they aren't immediately available to be uptaken by another plant. They have to be decomposed. So roaches and bugs like them will eat the leaves, and as they pass through the roaches, they become a form available for other plants. Without them, the plants would take up all the nutrients and they would become locked and they wouldn't be able to be used by anything else, and everything would start to die. So, we've had a cool looking insect that's good, a not so cool looking insect that's good. Here's our third insect. Now this guy, praying mantises and cockroaches, I expect to be pretty familiar with everybody. This guy, maybe not so much. He is a Bumelia borer. What do we have opinions about this guy?
It's got long antennae.
Long antennae.
Well, you said borer, so is that in the ground or in the wood?
He bores in the wood.
Okay.
He's very shiny.
Very shiny. He's a very metallic green, and he's got a bright red body. He looks pretty cool, doesn't he?
I usually think of bugs having good camouflage, but that one doesn't look very well camouflaged.
That's because he has noxious chemicals inside him, and birds know not to eat him because they would get a very sick tummy. This is called aposematic coloring. It's when insects or things are very bright so that other things know not to mess with them. So, even though he looks cool, he is actually detrimental to humans. I called him a borer, and we discussed earlier it's in the wood. So when these
so
guys...
he kills my trees?
He does. When these guys are babies, their larvae will bore into trees, which leaves them open to fungus and disease. They'll also do this with cut lumber laying in yards, and they'll do this to telephone poles before they're treated, and which weakens them. However, just because he's detrimental to humans does not mean he doesn't have an important role to play in the ecosystem. So we talked earlier about the cockroaches eating dead leaves, but they don't eat the trees themselves. It takes a very specialized digestive system to digest the compounds in wood, which this guy has. So when trees fall down, insects like him will decompose them. Otherwise, it would take a very long time. So it's important not to judge by appearances when you're looking at bugs. They all have a role to play. But why is this important? I've been talking about this guy makes some holes in woods, these guys eat aphids, this guy eats leaves. Like, you can't see that that's very big. Well, the thing is, there are 10 quintillion living bugs on the earth right now. In comparison, there are 7.8 billion humans. That is 1.5 trillion bugs per person. Bugs are everywhere. They can fill any niche you can think of. Those 900,000 species fill anything you can think of in the environment. Some are unique and aren't filled by anything else. If bugs disappeared, we would follow not very soon after. So, speaking of the important role that bugs play in their environment, if anybody would like to follow me outside, we're going to let these guys go and let them